Hey Overlord, it's me, Dreg. In this build, I decided to make a Temporal Eviscerator. This build, like any great story, starts at the thrift store. While I was there picking up junk, I picked up a couple other pieces. This white blaster and this old keyboard. Disassembly is one of my favorite steps. I like seeing the guts of things. I'm a naturally curious person. I didn't have much of a vision for this build. The night before I started, I had a dream. A dream of a weapon with a keyboard on the side. And 2 words. Temporal Eviscerator. That's it. Don't lose that. Most of my builds look hodgepodged. This is by design. It hides the fact that I have no idea what I'm really doing. This keyboard infuriated me. I thought it would be easy to take apart. It wasn't.
Wait, let me see. Can I see? Ooh. I feel so good. Get that off. Nehemiah.
Good.
I want it.
My youngest likes to help my builds. And by help, I mean hinder. I cut the number pad off the keyboard using a pair of tin snips, but it wasn't in frame. I purposely left in the sounds of the grinding. It reminds me of a bone saw. Again, I had no vision for this build. I just knew the number pad had to be on the side. So I glued it on. Because of the location of the keypad and the curvature of the weapon, it left huge holes. So I hacked apart this blaster to fill in the gaps. I just had to fit them in place. I didn't know how it would work. When I found a place that was pleasing to me, I glued it down. Hopefully I got more glue on the piece than on my fingers. When I'm doing a build, I like to rough up the surface with a piece of sandpaper. It helps the pieces to stick together when I glue them in place. Most of the trash I use are from lids of soda. This piece is from a bottle of soy sauce. Is there a rule for how much glue to use when building trash out of trash? I don't know. I try to make sure that there are at least 3 points of contact, and then I glue it down. A lot. Then I sprinkle on some baking soda to help secure the bond. I don't want it coming off. I handle the builds a lot, and my kids like to steal them and run away with it. And now for your listening enjoyment, the peaceful ambiance of my home. What did I say? Peaceful. My goal at this part of the build is, without rhyme or reason, cover the weapon with every conceivable piece of junk I can. After I junk up the weapon beyond repair, it's time to bedazzle it. After it's primed, these beautiful little gems make perfect rivets. When my weapon is sufficiently sparkly, it's time to add wires. I took the circuit board from the white blaster and trimmed all the wires off of it. With careful precision and zero planning or vision, I glued all the wires in place. Listen to that. Music. That means that this build is nearing its completion. With both halves sufficiently ruined, it is time to assemble it. For the barrels, I used the back half of the firing mechanism. Then I glued it in place. After priming, I thought it was a little dark, so I made a wash with a light gray, a little bit of water, a couple drops of soap, and I started the process of gamification. After a couple passes with the wash, it looked really salty. At this point, I thought, it's not awful enough, so I'm gonna add little splotches of rusty red all over it. Have you ever seen a weapon with chicken pox? Now you have. I didn't want my build to be a solid color, so I steepled on a few shades, some blues, some greens, and some yellows. I made sure that there was plenty of gray in between, make it look like it was hodgepodge together, scratched and beaten and weathered. Next step, make a truly dark wash, then make it look oily and grimy. After a couple passes with that, I dried it off using a hairdryer I stole from my wife. Then I made a brown wash to simulate dirt, and rust, and I did a couple passes with this. After this was dried, I took the most beat up, disgusting paintbrush I could find and some silver paint, and I hit the highlights, focused on the rivets, dry brushed it a little, made it look scratched so you can see the metal beneath it. After this, I hit it with a couple more passes of wash. I didn't record it, and I don't remember what shades I used. After that, I sprayed it with a couple coats of matte clear enamel. With that, I decided to put a fork in it, because it was done. Overlord, if you enjoyed this build, please like, subscribe, and share. And also, if you happen to run into the Emperor on your travels, please have a word with him about my exile. This planet can be so wearisome.